most trustless name in news.
I've been predicting this for some time, that this bull cycle will be the last parabolic bull cycle for some time. It's something I've termed the last hoorah. Those that rule this world, the global elite, are loyal to the dollar and the way it has structured this world. Anything that changes the status quo will be met with major resistance. And Bitcoin flips the status quo right on its head. So are you ready to find out exactly why this will be the last hoorah? Well, you don't have a choice, because it's time for Chico Crypto. Bitcoin goes in cycles. Everyone knows that, due to the halving, which cuts Bitcoin emissions in half every 4 years. BTC cycles last almost exactly 4 years because of this. The price of Bitcoin has grown exponentially throughout these cycles, going parabolic towards the end of them. Just looking at the Bitcoin price throughout the halvings, this is apparent. On the day of the first one, BTC was $12. On the day of the second halving, BTC was $648. On the day of the third halving, $8,572. And finally, we are less than 6 months away from the next one. And the Bitcoin price today seems like it's another typical Bitcoin cycle. Although I believe this cycle is going to be the last one for a while that follows this trend. This cycle will be the last hoorah. Why? Well, first we need to talk about the institutions coming. Those that are filing for the spot ETFs. Blackrock, Fidelity, VanEck, Valkyrie, and more. These financial institutions are all getting ready to have their ETF applications accepted, and many predict that this will come sometime early next year. Now, this is very bullish in the short term, but let me tell you, it's not good for Bitcoin in the medium to long term. Why is this? Well, everyone knows that Bitcoin is considered a store of value. It draws a specific comparison to gold. Bitcoin is digital gold. Just 20 years ago, gold was in a similar position to Bitcoin. In 2004, gold was sitting around a $1 trillion market cap, and the trading of gold happened by buying physical gold coins or bars that citizens had to custody themselves. If you didn't know, Bitcoin and the crypto markets are just above a $1 trillion market cap today, and the trading of Bitcoin happens by buying physical Bitcoin from exchanges that if you take it off the exchanges, you have to custody yourself. Well, in 2004, this all changed for gold. The first major gold ETFs were launched, and the trading of gold became easier. You could just buy shares of the ETFs, and the financial companies would custody the bought gold for you, and you could sell these ETF shares at any time. As we can see, after these major gold ETFs were launched, gold surged from a $1 trillion market cap to a $8 trillion market cap at the peak in 2011. Well, a similar thing will happen with Bitcoin. It's going to go on a tear after the ETFs launch. But after the elites have made their money, they're going to do the exact same thing to Bitcoin as they have done with gold. Because after this gold bull cycle due to ETFs, we can see the asset has been in an over decade-long price suppression. The price of gold today is barely higher than it was in 2011. In 12 years, gold has barely budged, which doesn't make a lick of sense when the gross domestic product of the world has increased from 60 trillion in 2011 to over 100 trillion today. Why hasn't any of this value flowed into gold? Well, gold threatens the US dollar, and the market manipulators, after they made their money from the ETF hype, have been manipulating it and on purpose holding it down. Frank Giostra, CEO of the Fior Group, who is heavily involved in the gold markets, has explained this manipulation. Let's listen in now.
And I've watched the gold price almost on an hourly basis since 20 something years ago. And what I've noticed is that lately the when there's a massive sell order, when there's the crushing of the gold price, it's quite vicious. And to me, it looks like it's done on purpose, and it's done to scare investors away from gold and to keep the gold price down. And they've done a very good job of it. And so they wait for days when the markets are thin, or they wait till the COMEX is about to close. And then also you get this massive selling of all these contracts, and it triggers stop losses. It does all sorts of things, scares everybody away. And then they cover it, and they don't need to sell their physical gold. And that's what I think is happening here.
All right, Frank, that's a very big statement. Who is the they in this scenario?
Well, I think that it's the Fed.
The Fed.
I think in working with the bullion banks, and I think that they don't necessarily have to communicate directly with the bullion banks. They can do it through the BIS and give the BIS instructions to sell futures, and that's then executed through the bullion banks. And then, occasionally, you see occasionally these bullion banks, they all get caught spoofing the market. They all get fined some amount of money, but they're making so much money it doesn't matter. I mean, that $1 billion fine for JP Morgan, I mean, that was the biggest, but that wasn't the first. They've been caught doing this forever.
Although, what is another reason beside elite price suppression that this could be the last hurrah? Well, if you didn't know, Tether and Binance, those that control the crypto market status quo today, are in regulators' crosshairs. But before we get into that, it's time for a sponsored segment of this video supported by OPOE. And like always, the full details of our arrangement are in the description. Are you tired of having to log into centralized exchanges every time you want to make a simple swap, like from Ethereum to Doge and back, or ETH to BTC, BTC to ETH, and so on? Not only is this time consuming to log in and pass the two-factor authentication, but there is always the risk of having your funds getting held up, delayed, or even locked. Not to mention the risk of the centralized exchange failing. Worse yet are the highly intrusive KYC mandates you have to go through just for making a simple swap between chains. Well, thank goodness for OPOE, otherwise known as Only Possible on Ethereum. This is a new protocol which solves the multi-chain bridge problem for non-EVM compatible systems. Their experienced team, in collaboration with their powerful partnerships, are pushing the limits of what's possible using Web3 technology, and they're innovating big time. Their mission is to deliver out-of-this-world products and solutions that are only possible on Ethereum by using the Ethereum chain as a base layer to solving EVM and non-EVM token swaps and bridging. OPOE released their front-end swapping DEX, and their cross-chain bridge is now live with a user-friendly experience Telegram bot, so you can make decentralized and anonymous swaps and bridge cross-chain with ease and quickness. The first bridge to release was the ETH to Doge and Doge to ETH. Then they released ETH to BTC and back, but have since released bridging pairs for Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Phantom, Solana, Polkadot, Tezos, and many more chains. And using the Telegram bridge bot is fast, easy, and simple. But the OPOE token released earlier this month and can now be traded through the Uniswap and 4 major centralized exchanges, including Bitmark and OPNX. Holders of the OPOE token were recently offered a free mint of their exclusive OPOE NFT, currently available on OpenSea, and this has essentially served as a raffle ticket through Chainlink verified random function. With this NFT, you are exclusively available for airdrops of NFTs and other collections from top-selling artists to the holders of this NFT. Also, OPOE NFTs will be displayed in Earth orbit on the Z Protocol satellite as part of the Geometric 2 mission to Earth orbit, as well as in lunar orbit as part of the Doge 1 mission to the moon, both launched by SpaceX in conjunction with OPOE OPOE partner, Z Protocol. But the fun and rewards don't stop there, as they just announced the start of the Season 1 airdrop farming for the OPOE token. Much like the Blur token farming, users who use the Telegram bot bridge for both sending and receiving will receive points for usage correlated to their Ethereum address used. And stay tuned, because the OPOE mission has just gotten started. They have new partners in NoClip and PalMind AI, so be on the lookout for new advancements of the bridge and more fun opportunities for token holders, alongside updates to their website and a new LP staking program to earn even more rewards. So next time you need to make a cross-chain swap between non-EVM compatible chains, make sure to use the OPOE bridge bot. To learn more, visit their website and follow their Twitter. And of course, to start using the bridge bot, you can find all the links for OPOE in the description. Now back to reason number 2, this may be the last major bull market for years, aka the last hoorah. Senator Cynthia Lummis has just sent a letter to the DOJ, United States Department of Justice, asking them to press criminal charges against the controllers of the crypto markets, the heart and blood, Binance and Tether. The letter says Binance is already the subject of current DOJ investigation. They say the fact that Hamas and other terrorist groups have been permitted by Binance to open accounts and conduct business clearly shows that Binance could be providing material support to entities engaged in terrorism under federal law. Then she says this about Tether. At the direction of Israeli law enforcement, Tether had recently frozen 32 addresses controlled by Hamas and Russian-linked entities. It's well known that Tether is knowingly facilitating violations of applicable sanctions laws and the Bank Secrecy Act. It's obvious now the regulators are going to be coming for Binance and Tether soon. There is already ongoing investigations against both of them. And now that the crypto-supporting Senator Lummis calling for direct action, it will likely be coming. In my opinion, this is all part of the plan. Get the ETFs passed by the major financial firms who are controlled by the elite, then take out Tether and Binance, so these financial firms can control the trading of the markets. And once the elite have made their money, they will hodl the price down. When is this going to come? Well, your guess is as good as mine, but I would expect in the next few years. Cheers, viewers. I'll see you next time.
The most trustless name in news.